All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this awesome Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes. Let's make sure that we participate and engage. After all, that is how we shorten the time, the learning curve, and compress time frames, right? So let's make sure that we take massive action, right? We always want to start with a strong foundation. We want to make sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, and that we always center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading. We want to trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. And we always want to imagine our trades successfully materializing and that we are obeying our trading strategy. We are obeying our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. And we want to make sure that we are never stopping or looking back once our trade has commenced. So hope everybody is having uh a good week and we are all ready to go, right? If everybody is all ready to go, do me a huge favor. Drop me a one in the chat. Let me know we are all fired up as we are into November, right? Almost to the end of the year already. I appreciate all the ones coming in. Apologize for the delay this morning. Had a little bit of issue with getting the video set up to record this morning on YouTube. So um yeah, let me see. Make sure we are good. Okay. All right. We're okay. So let's jump out of here, right, and move over right to trading economics. So we were anticipating a rate cut yesterday by the Federal Reserve, and yeah, we got that right. So the Fed lowered its funds target range by 25 basis points, in line with expectations and following a jumbo 50 basis point cut in September. During the press conference, Fed Chair Powell stated that in the near term, the election will have no effect on the Fed decisions and he would not resign if Trump asked him to. A lot of people forget Donald J. Trump appointed Fed Chair Powell, and the current administration was smart enough, right, and didn't play the partisan game. They didn't ask him to resign when they came in office. They kept him in his position, right? And he has done, I mean, it's quite obvious, a good job, right, in regards to where we are now as it relates to inflation. A lot of people also forget that when we're in the midst of all the mess, Chairman Powell stayed pretty strong. Because if anybody remembers, President Trump kept pushing them at the time to cut rates. So just imagine where we'd have been if Chairman Powell wouldn't have stiffened his back and stuck to his game plan. Anybody remember that? Drop me a one in the chat if you remember that. All right. In fact, he took to him on Twitter and True Social, bashing him. Right. So how soon people forget. So good article here um, regarding um, the Fed situation from yesterday, the meeting. This is a pretty good article in Investopedia because it has different, major players, right? So Bill Adams, chief economist, Comerica Bank, the Fed followed through with the rate cut signal at the September decision, but was a little less adamant about the case for further rate cuts going forward. Powell did state that the Fed is still on a path toward a more neutral stance, but neutral is a theoretical idea, not a specific level, right? Um, Article here, Chairman Powell. So, right, what we've been talking about. If the economy is so good, why do Americans feel bad, right? So he goes into it here. It takes some years of real wage gains for people to feel better. And that's what we're trying to create, he said. Inflation has come way down. The economy is still strong here. Wages are moving up, but at a sustainable level. I think what needs to happen is happening, and for the most part has happened. But it will be some time before people regain their confidence and feel that. We know we say the economy is performing well, and it is, but we also know that people are still feeling the effects of high prices, he said. The world went through a global inflation shock, and inflation went up everywhere. And it stays with you because the price level doesn't come back down. So right, Joy. Right, right. And that's mainly because he's not political, right? He hasn't he's shown so far that he doesn't allow that to influence his decisions, right? Which is the way it's supposed to be. So there we go. That's a pretty good article because it's got multiple uh articles, right? This one's from 14 hours ago, 26 hours ago, right? Just different things coming in. So this one's pretty good. We know that the Bank of England, right, held rates yesterday, right? They held rates. There's still some key areas, right, that they are paying attention to, right? So the forecast was for them to hold 4.75, and they did stay neutral, right? I know they've had I want to say eight consecutive months of growth, right? So they're not seeing that recession creep in back in either, right? So we'll see. They like I said, they still have some uh some sticky areas that they need to pay attention to. So let me go here. So some fees that came through while Governor Bailey is speaking. Disinflation faster than expected. Bank of England's Bailey. We still need to see services price inflation come down more broadly to keep CPI at 2%. Slack sufficient for CPI at target and medium term. A gradual approach to cutting rates will give us time to assess impact of NICS risk and other risk. I don't think it is right to conclude that the path of interest rates will be very different due to the budget, right? So that was submitted. So the Bank of England held rates. That's what was forecasted, and we cut, right? We cut rates yesterday, so we'll continue to keep an eye on those developments. Where else? U.S. unemployment claims, right? It was expected to be 223K. It came in at 221, right, which is pretty much flat. So still solid. Um, Preliminary non-farm productivity Q over 2.2%. Forecast of 2.6, positive. What else? What else was I looking for? Natural gas stores came in pretty much on yeah, so today, for Canada, we got employment data coming out. We got the University of Michigan consumer sentiment data coming out. That'll be interesting to see. We got an FOMC member. So then at 8:30, we got some CPI data coming out of China, CPI, PPI data. So yeah, that's gonna be well after the market closes at 8:30 here in the United States. So that's where we are. Moving back over to trading economics. European stocks fall. That's digesting the Fed's monetary policy decision. World food prices rise to 1.5-year highs. Continues to be, somewhat of an issue there. But some of that is sometimes this happens with seasonality and different things like that too. So looking at the DXY, okay. The dollar index held steady around 104.5 on Friday, right? Early, as investors assess the Federal Reserve's latest interest rate decision. The Fed reduced the Fed funds rate by 25 basis points expected. Market expectations for another quarter point cut in December, although any upside surprises in inflation or labor market data could alter this, right? We know that. Data dependent, data dependent. Meanwhile, investors reduced their bets on rate cuts for 2025 amid concerns about the return of Trump to the White House. Markets are worried that if his proposed tariff increases could fuel inflation, which might prevent the Fed from further lowering rates. The dollar is back on track to finish the week with modest gains as investors took profits from the post-election rally. All right, so that's where we are. Taking a look at those gains, looking at the spiders, ETFs. Right, we can see we're up in most areas. Over 1% consumer discretionary, 1.24% real estate, tech 1.74%, energy down a bit, financials creep back down a bit there, but that was that had been up, right? But a little bit of a correction there. Utility slight gain. Okay, so that's where we are on the S&P. Jumping over, taking a look at the Darwin portfolio quickly. We are up, right? The portfolio that we have posted in the group. So the one that I'm running, full positions aren't in, but we are up from yesterday. We're up 4,200 right now. So total equity gains at 118,399, right? So we hit that 20,000 mark. I don't know if we may see a correction before then, right? So this may decrease a little bit, but looking at holding that and letting that continue to run and probably add some positions later on that. So far so good on that portfolio idea with Darwin. Any questions on any of the fundamentals? Nope. Okay. Ryan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, bro. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm catching up, man.
Yeah. So what you got for us this morning?
I don't have anything additional to add, bro.
All right. All right. Cool deal. Okay. One more time. Any questions regarding any fundamentals? Nope. All right. So let's keep it moving, right? Let's jump into the charts. Take a quick look at the DXY from the daily. Right. So again, modest gains for the week. You can see how we huge bullish candle that came through doing a pullback, and then we're kind of just sitting flat. Our daily stochastic on the DXY is in the buy zone. We'll see what happens coming into next week. We do have a U.S. consumer sentiment data coming out today that could provide a little volatility, but we'll see. This is the 4-hour chart here. You know, kind of you got a good pullback, and now we're kind of just moving sideways. If we run the fib, right here, sub fib, right? So we're right around that 50-61.8 zone, edge of that buy zone. So we'll see if we get a continuation to the upside on the dollar. See what happens as traders continue to digest the information from yesterday. Any questions on the DXY?
Nope.
No. All right. So real quick before I get blazing through these charts, um, any um any particular pairs that you guys have your eyes on that you want to take a look at, right? We'll make that a priority this morning. If you do. GJ. All right. So we'll jump to GJ first. S&P US oil. All right, Reese. Okay. So Joy, let's take a look at this. GJ. right? So here we are. This is the looking at it from the weekly, right? And so we put in that low, right? And then we started swinging from the upside. We identified that quite some time ago now, right? So if we come down here to the daily, right? We can see where it's just kind of just range bound, right? From that daily perspective in this range here, right? We've got it correcting right now, but you can see right across here, right? It's respecting that daily resistance level. Okay. Respecting that daily resistance level. So let's dive into it further down the charts. Let me put hold on a second. Let me run let me roll back. There. Let's see where we are. So I did this second. I haven't paid attention to this daily bill. There we go. And if something's off with that. Okay. So still overall, right? Longer term bullish, we're just kind of moving sideways right now, Joyce. So we need if we're going to continue long, which is what I'm thinking, right? Fundamentally, right? Especially against the yen right now, we just need a breakout. Right? We just needed to break out of this area. So for it to uh for it to continue, right? So we broke out of this zone, so I'll pull that. And now we're kind of just in the same scenario, right? This is one of those forever ABCD ways, but we know that the pound yen is a big mover. So we know anytime we have a C to D move on a pound yen, right, it's gonna be a huge move. So that's still playing out. So I still look for that to continue long. We're just kind of trapped in this range. And it's gonna take some time. So still overall bullish. We're in a range right now. So what is this? We're in this range. Let's price on. Right. So 199.43 area, 195.94. Right. So the question is right, does this become a higher low here? Do we press to the bottom of the range? It may form a higher low and then look to continue up. So looking for um just sub pip there. So we got a 50% pullback. So do we form a low here off this 4? And from there, do we continue long? Right? That would be what I'd be checking out to see. Right? Do we form a low and push longer? Right? So we've got a higher low here, now here to see. Okay, so if we come down uh, to our 1, okay, if we want to drop down the time frame, we got an A6 retracement, so that 1.18 target shorter term. So you've got the same scenario. Right? If we can make the move, so that's tracking, right? Like so. Okay. So if you want to be a little bit more aggressive and run that trend line break off the 1 hour, right? Because here you get that swing low to form, get this one to close out. You know, maybe you continue to uh, catch your momentum. You know, you end up with something like this, right? Then you have an official low there, and maybe we make the run from there. Your 4 hour, your 1 hour, uh, stochastics, right, in the buy zone. And so, you know, maybe we continue to make the run. Clearly got a sound AB boundary where price held. We just have price correcting right now. So we're looking for signs of an official reversal. Any questions on that?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So like I said, it's a big mover. So any you know, even from you know, this area here is 280 on a 1 hour. Yeah. So that's that. Moving back up to the S&P. We ended that yesterday, Reese. What was it? It was an 80-20, right? If I remember that correct. Let's see. Yeah, on the 1 hour. Take a look at it. Yeah, so we're trying to turn over a little bit, right? So that's still sitting there. But I still just find it amazing, right? How you get price to stall out at the level when you've had a period of just a strong run right to the upside. So we are still right involved, right? So we need this to drop. That's a low there on this 1 hour, right? And so maybe if we break and close below there, right, we may see a further move down, but it's still trying to make up its mind. That's a good bearish candle there, right? So you know we've had some, some profit taking, right? We just read that briefly in the article, right, where you had some profit taking going on. So we got a support level there, and we know we've got resistance. Okay, even right, but keep it there. Right? So we need to see if price wants to make further declines. But technically, Reese, that is still in play. We'll see what happens on a Friday, where if we like I said, we see continued profit taking to push this price back down. All right. So that's that. How do you play horizontal breaks? I depend. Well, with this move, right, on this S&P, you can have time, right? So sometimes it just depends on um a pair like this. So a move like this could be an aggressive move with the S&P, right? We know how aggressive it could be. So sometimes when I know it's a pair that could be aggressive and have a lot of volatility behind it in either direction, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take it if it breaks and it closes bearish below there. I'll take it. I'll take it if I want to be a bit more aggressive. Um, what you could do also with a move like this on an S&P is take this level down to your 15-minute chart, right? 15-minute. Some people are more aggressive than that. So you've got some extra levels down here, 15. And so you could take it, let it break and close and pull back, right? So you could possibly run your fib, you know, uh, on your 15, right? You don't have it quite yet, but as it drives down, what you're looking for really is like let's see here, draw this up, right? It's a break and a pull back to that zone, right? Which a lot of times will give you a decent fib level, and then you can take it like that. If you need extra, right, confirmation, once you get that pull back to that zone, then just follow through with a trend line, right? because if it is going to make its way down to that target, that's quite a ways, right? So you got a little time, so you can see if it wants. It's not just going to drop straight down. Let something catastrophic happen fundamentally, right? So we know that it's going to move in waves, it's going to drop, and then it's going to take something back, right? So you can wait for that maybe on a lower time frame for a play. That'll give you time for your trend line to form, and then right a move down like that. So you could play a break of the horizontal zone and then a pullback to retest. Right? That's just a classic way to play it if you don't want to be as aggressive, and just do it right off of a bearish close in this example. Okay, couple different options. Okay? Most of the time I lean on the side. Most of the time I lean on the side of dropping down and taking a pullback and then seeing if it wants to continue, because it just gives me the extra confidence. That's where I end up most of the time. But there are times where I'm feeling a little aggressive. I'll just take it off. Yeah. Yep. Hope that helps. And then taking a look back at US oil. So we'll go to our commodities. And we'll take a look at oil. Right. And we're still kind of just hovering on that 30-minute. We're in that AB boundary area, right? And we formed a low. So maybe we see this continue to move, right? So we played this on that 30-minute, all right, that you call. And so right now, until it fails, it's kind of doing its dance, but still looking for it, to continue to move higher, right? You got on the 30, you got a stochastic in the buy zone. And so I don't know how much of a push we'll get today, you know. Uh, but we'll see. Maybe, going into next week. I know we've got today, that's late after hours, right? You got CPI and stuff like that coming out of China, right? So that's something to pay attention to. As we know, uh, as far as consumption, China is a major player. So we will see. You forgot to post a report, Joy. It's all good. It's all good. I know you keep us updated. I know you'll take care of us. Yeah. So this is where we are on the 30 minutes. So still looking for that, right? We've got a higher low here, and we got another one that's forming here. So let's see if we can get back above. Right? What is this? A weekly level here? Let me see. There. So we're good there. All right. Any other questions on oil?
Hey Benny,
Hey.
the day of the election, and
Mhm.
hey, I did not save the article, um, because I was just reading on trade and economic. Basically, I think it's about to start. It's going to be stagnant. It's going to probably just stay in this area because of China, um,
Mhm.
and their preparations of the next administration and the threats that they were told that was going to happen to them. So that's, I think it's going to be stagnant because again, Iran is still keeping their prices low.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. Great work, Joy. Some send us in the chat for that. That is good information. Super proud. Super proud. Right? We're not just playing the game, we're talking the game too, right? We're thinking through the game. I like it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens there. Really good feedback. All right. And so what else did I have in this? Yeah. Cena, let's look at gold. Let's take a look at it. All right. Let's see what we got going on with our gold play here. So we are right now, Cena, in the midst of this is a daily 80-20 here, right? But our stochastic is in the buy zone. So do we have the possibility of further declines? Maybe. I think that's gonna hinge on dollar strength in this pair. Okay, dollar strength in this pair. So right now we're retesting this B boundary area, but we did get a nice reversal off the low here. So our stochastic is in the buy zone. Remember, we are still in, right? The Fed just cut by 25 basis points, right? We are still in that environment, that interest rate cutting environment, even though the Bank of England held, right? So I'm interested to see if we end up with an official swing low here on the daily, and if we get a push up from here, if we don't move any further lower, right? That could happen. But if we move down and if we close lower, right? What is that? 26, 43, 46. If we move lower, then we're looking at that next level, that 25.99. We're gonna continue bearish at least back down to that level. So this is what I'm waiting on here on gold, right? Kind of in no man's land right now, especially after this huge bearish candle. We retested. We always say it, right? When you get a huge bearish or a huge bullish candle, the market likes to come back to retest it to see if it's real, at least 50% of that candle. And you can see we're right there, about 50% of that candle. And so be patient, right? I'm looking to be patient to see if we hold and form a swing low here. So we can move down. Let's move down to the lower time frames and see what that's. Moving on down to our 1 hour. And we'll run our fibs. So I definitely, you know, uh, think there's a high probability for it to stay bullish throughout the rest of the year, but it's kind of in a peculiar, position on the daily, right? So let's see. Looking like on our 1 hour. So you can see how right now that's structured to the downside. So I mean, well, we're kind of in no man's land, right? So on your 1 hour, we'll go to the 4 and take a look at it too. Structured to the downside, but see how it's holding at this level here. So the question becomes, do we see one more drive to the upside? So there. So I'm neutral right now on this. Right, which is why that daily time frame is so important. Because we've gotten a really good pullback here, but do we drive up higher? Is because right now, based on this 1 hour, we see that that's structured to the downside because we've seen a recent correction. So I am going to lean on that daily time frame and wait for that swing low to see if it forms. If it forms, then we're probably going to look for continuation. All right. So again, you know, just kind of in no man's land with it right now, coming off that higher time frame out of that 80-20 zone. Right. So I'm gonna go back up to the daily. And for some further guidance on this. But let me go to the 4-hour first. Because it took out um, our fibs, right? On the one. Fibs are running to the upside because you have a pretty good correction coming off that daily. But let's see if we have the same thing occurring on the 4-hour. So, all right. So this is your 4, right? Similar to your daily. So let's see. Because that is a clear 80-20, right? So let's wait to see what happens once that swing low forms, if it forms on the daily time frame. That'll help us out with staying patient and waiting for the market to make a definite decision on direction. Because if we hold here and we push higher, then we're definitely gonna look to continue bullish.
Yeah.
But you even have your 4 hours cast. So let's see what happens. All right.
Thank
See
you.
what happens. You're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, I would just be patient on that. That's gonna be an interesting.
Mm.
All right, all right. Good deal. What else do we have? Yields down. Yep, it's starting to creep back down. All right.
So I got a question, Benny.
Mm-hmm.
I was contemplating on, like, far as with gold and everything, putting instead of putting putting my alerts on my gold chart, but putting alerts on the yields when they move. Do you think gold is more responsive to the yield data or just itself entirely?
Say that one more time.
Like, I'm trying to figure out, I've been trying to set up ways to, like, if a currency goes down or one way on the DXY, like DXY,
Mm-hmm.
if it crosses a certain point, I know on my US pairs
Mm-hmm.
to be wary of. Far as
Yeah.
with gold, if it's relevant for me to set alarms on the yields.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? That's like next level stuff there, Joy. So using your yields as a confirmation, especially for the dollar.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I love it because a lot of times you'll see that move. You'll see those yields move, and then you'll see that dollar impacted by it, right? Because that makes sense. If for U.S. bonds, right? You got in order to make moves and invest in those bonds for U.S. bonds, you have to do what with your currency from your country? Convert it, right? And if you're investing internationally or even here, if people are buying and selling bonds because of a spike in the yields and things like that, that's all going to drive the dollar because it's done in US dollars, right? So I think that's a great idea for additional confirmation, especially as it relates to the dollar. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Donette, you said you have a
That was
one.
on gold. The one,
Oh,
yeah.
that was on gold on the 1 minute.
Hmm.
Let's check it out. Let's go down to the one. Okay. Down with that. Let's see. Uh, 1 minute. And you talk. Am I
From the downside, yeah.
from the downside on this
Yeah.
on this here, this low here?
Yeah.
Boom. Okay. Okay. Drop some sevens in the chat. Took it down to the 1 minute using the fibs. I like the creativity, right?
1 minute, be giving some good setups, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know what? It's just amazing, like how the fibs just play out, right? No matter what the time frame. And people say, oh, when you get that low, it's super scary. It's really not when you know how to frame it out, right? You notice like it moves the same,
Yeah.
and that's actually a very solid move to the extension on a 1 minute chart. It moves the same regardless, so yeah, that's a play there. And guys, it's simple, right? Either we're gonna be right or we're gonna be wrong. That's why risk management is important.
Yeah, that's right.
We just say be consistent. Be
Mhm.
consistent with your approach. So if you're finding out that you continue to be way wrong with whatever approach you're using, you can analyze it. But you can never get sound data to analyze if you're inconsistent with your approach. Hope that makes sense, right? Because then your data sets are all over the place, right? So you have to, if there's anything that you learn from this group, is you have to have you want to have a consistent way to approach the market. So let's see what happens with that. I like that. I mean, that's right. Your A boundary is right at a daily low, right? So we've already broken and retested that low here, and then we accelerated. We got overextended, and now let's see if this holds or if it takes us out, right? If it breaks that daily low, that's a really good setup. Maybe we're just retesting the backside of that trend. I'm gonna leave it there. Let it run. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Here's the nat gas play since we're back looking at this. Here's our nat gas. Right. Still kind of hovering within that AB boundary, ran that sub fib, moving sideways. You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Joyce said, especially on a beautiful cloud break. Yeah, right. Sunny skies all day. So yeah, that's where we are on nat gas. That I'll take a look at that. What was there anything else that anybody wanted to look at today? It's Friday. That's it. All right. We'll take a look at this Aussie CAD play because this continues to bounce back and forth on me. I was up like over $100 on it. Now it's pulling back. So yeah, from the daily, right? So we've got that pullback going on there. And here we are. So here's the trend line break and then the pullback. So we'll see if we hold, right? This zone. Coming back to retest resistance. Right? Like so. So can we hold there and then continue? Will this be the area? And then we get a continue move 4 hours stochastic sell zone, right? So good push up. Now we've moved back down, right? We moved back down. So that's a longer term play though. We'll continue to sit back and see what happens on the Aussie CAD, right? Aussie dollar move. All right. Crazy, right? We talked about this yesterday. We said this is probably gonna happen, right? We got wicked out on the original 80-20 move, got stopped out. Next fit, we returned and we hit that TP1 target. Crazy sometimes, right? It's just the way the market goes. Just the way the market goes. Right? Almost got all 127 pips on it. But that's where we are. So if we've taken out this A on the 4-hour, now, I mean, look at, so if we see, right? So we had this drawn up long term and we started to move in that direction, but we've got a pullback. Okay. We got a pullback going on. So we took out this A on the 4. So now let's see what happens. Okay. If we get a new fib to form, which we should have one already. See if we hang within this AB boundary and then continue to move up. So I'm going to delete this now because that got all blown up. Such a shame. And stinks when that happens. It made a decent move up, but just missed the target one before it pushed back down. So I think it was that. I think that play was up like 60 something pips before it collapsed with all the election stuff. So get this cleared out. This off. That's done now. So now we want to see if this holds as a swing low. And then we get that move back to the side. Okay. Maybe we come back to test the 7-8-6 area. Right. Kind of a, you know, you got that crown type action going on there. So do we come back and move, right? Which is kind of weird because we don't have the we don't anyway. Because we don't have that left side, right? Complete. That's a huge break in the pullback, and then we don't have that where we had that price action move up higher here at this point. But similar thing where this is a possible support area that could form a right tip and then a continuation long. So let's see what happens there. Right? See what happens. And on that is the Aussie dollar. Let's go to the 1. And should get this out of it. Nope, it took that one out too. So deep retracement on the 4. So let's just wait and see what happens. So I will mark this one like this. Wait for the market to settle down from all the election matters. Like that. See where we end up finding some. So that's that on the Aussie dollar. Take a look at this Aussie yen. Seeing some corrective action now, right? Move back to the downside. Stochastic is in the buy zone daily. Want to also see what happens with the CPI, PPI data coming out of China to see what type of impact that'll have on the Australian dollar. right? And so still bullish, right? 103.10 is the target, but we're pulling back, right? So eventually we want to see it find some support, form a higher low, and then continue long. Want to see it continue long. Looking for trend line breaks. Right? So we've got our inner, our outer, right? Long-term trend line break there. So now we just want to see this form that higher low and continue. See where it settles. Right? We've got an area coming up here. Right? See if we hold or if it just continues to move further down. Any questions on the Aussie yen? Nope. All righty. Any other pairs that we want to take a look at? No. All right. So I'm just gonna take a peek in at the Euro USD. All right. So we got a beautiful ABCD wave that played out. Now we're here on this 4-hour. We got a 50% pullback. See what happens next week with this dollar. Right? After the Fed decision yesterday, right? Because they did cut, but right now we kind of got a lot going on, right? So we got to let the dust settle, right? We had the election, all of the madness around that, but then we just had a rate cut too, right? They kind of, we knew it was coming, but it almost like it kind of crept in, considering the major event being the election, right? But that rate cut did happen, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with the dollar. Wow. I think that cut was definitely priced in. So
No,
we'll see.
on
Mhm,
Friday when I'm glad that you showed me with the week advance that rate cut
mhm.
was priced in.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, it was confirmed. That was I think they all, hey, this is a go, right? Um, so we'll see what happens with dollar strength next week for sure. All right, let's see what happens with consumer sentiment today. That's a report that could create some volatility. So that's where we are on the Euro USD. Um, let's look at our Bitcoin move, right? Our cup and handle setup. What happened with that throughout the day yesterday after we logged off? Show it. Ooh. It'll take your own setup. It happens. It's gonna pull back. No worries. No worries. Right? No worries. It finished the job yesterday though. We got a new one. So hey, this one, if we can get a decent correction, I think that's a go. I think we just sit in that, right? And I know some of you are probably holding it in your other portfolios, just right as an investment, right? Which you should be doing good right now. But remember too, right, that if you don't want as much crazy volatility, right, there is a Bitcoin ETF, right? BITO, right? And it's a dividend one too. Like I got that, I've got it in my Robinhood, and it's just like dividends. So that's it, right? Look that one up. Let's put that one in the chat. So that's one. If you are, a crypto enthusiast, right? That that's not a bad one to look at it. It's up. It's at $20.67 right now. So it's coming good ways. All right. So Reese, I forgot to flip over the trade view. Man. On that what you wanted me to take a look at. On that Trump stop. Dang. All right. I'm gonna have to do that. Oh, sorry. Just thought about that when I looked down at my bad. My bad. So, but that's it. We don't have anything else to look at. Anybody? Y'all just slow motion this week? What's going on? What's the good news? Somebody tell me something to close out the week.
So instead of grilling today,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be cooking some food today, just for some feel good. That's it, for some relaxation and chillaxation.
You gonna cook something or you gonna just put some pizza rolls in the oven? What you doing, Joy?
Oh no, I'm cooking. And you know what? I've been looking at a recipe to make pizza roll, because I'm about on the point where I'm about to stop buying fast food, and basically I want to make healthy comfort food is what I want to try to start doing.
Healthy comfort food. That'll be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy and it's comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
You go
Like
ahead and pull that one off.
like margaritas. You know, alcohol ain't good, but lime is healthy, and tequila has 0 calories.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Now, so social media says Joy's a beast in the kitchen.
Yeah,
So
is that the word on the social media
that's the
street?
word. That's the word on the street, man.
Joy, you local too. We
Hey, we're gonna have to get everybody to fly out to Detroit, and we can spark up the grill, throw some ribs on, do some I even cook cabbage on the grill if y'all like cabbage.
I do like cabbage, so yeah, yeah. We're gonna have to I'm gonna have to come see you for sure. Indeed. Well, hey, all right, everybody. Well, look, nobody has any other questions. All right, so yeah, that we're gonna wrap it up there, right? We are going to recently love cabbage, never had it on the grill though. Yeah, right. So we are gonna wrap this session up. It has been a wild, crazy week, but what I will say is I am glad that is over, right? Looking forward to fresh markups. We're in a new month, right? And looking forward to getting through to the end of the year. Just remember, right, in the markets, November, right? Stock market, November, December, January, March, and April, right? Usually historically are really good months. So let's see if the markets can make a really good run through the end of the year. It has already been a phenomenal year, right? As far as the market and multiple all-time highs on the S&P. Good. The economy has been rocking and rolling all year long here in the United States. So let's see what happens as we look to close out the year. Monday, what's the holiday on Monday?
Veterans Day, so the bank's gonna be
Oh, the banks will be closed. Yeah, the banks will be closed. So, all right. Well, hey, tomorrow, 7 a.m. Thanks, Joy. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual. So Ryan will be running the show tomorrow morning. I will be out of town at a football tournament. My son got selected to play in a what they call the Rumble in the Thumb here in Michigan. So he will be out there competing in a football tournament all weekend. Appreciate it. So we'll see if they can come back home with the win. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, don't just count your pips, but count those blessings. Bye for now.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you to everybody for being here with us.